So my name's Adam Oates. I'm 21. Grew up in Michigan, Holly, Michigan, actually, south of Flint. I was kicked out at 16. Been on my own ever since. Lived in South Florida for, 2 years now, off and on, between here and Denver, Colorado. Well, I was kicked out at 16 because my mom had a drug addiction and didn't want to be a parent anymore. So it was basically, you're 16, you can do it on your own. So I ended up moving in with my friends and stuff. Before that, me and my mom never really had much of a relationship. Drugs and guys and stuff were always taking more of her time than for the kids or anything in general. So I guess from there I moved out to Flint, Michigan, and as soon as I turned 18 I came down here to Orlando. Lived here between here and Daytona for about 6 months, and then went to Colorado, and then to South Florida. Well, with the drug addiction and everything, like I was always, it'd be nights I'd be sleeping and just come in with, fists in my face or something like that. So it was just lots of things that built up, and then one night I'd never lay a hand on my mom. Never would, any woman in general. So it was just one night I couldn't take it anymore, and I packed up my stuff, and she just took my stuff and threw it out the window. How that made me feel? Well, I was scared. Didn't know what to do, Just moved in with a friend and kind of just felt around and got a job and took care of myself, the best I knew how. It's how I survived so long, I believe.
Yeah.
And my friend that I had met, that I moved in with, I really didn't know them very well. And, but I had just met him, I hung out with him, partied with him a few times. That worked out fine. It worked out fine until his boyfriend got jealous. And this was before I came out to anybody, too. So it was very awkward there, too. It was, my friends that lived in the area and stuff were always there for me. Like I had, go and hang out or, whatever. But no, I was just kind of left there for myself to, like the kind of family I grew up in is like very southern, very, black eating, gay hating. And so I had, a lot of girlfriends growing up through school and stuff, and so there's always that kind of shield. Although when I told my mom, she goes, I know. I was like, oh. Should have told me. My mom passed away in November. Before she passed away, actually the last couple of years of our lives were great. Best friends on the phone. Talked to her every single morning, every night. And, I was always grateful that maybe the distance did us what we needed it to. Because if it was like it was now, maybe it wouldn't have hurt so much, but it still wouldn't have known my mom. And that sucks.
That sucks.
She was my best friend the last couple of years. So that's kind of cool. I did appreciate how things in life in general could just take you a different direction.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Well, because it was something that was eating me inside. It starts to take a toll on you. You're just like, okay, well, I can't hide it anymore. I can't act like... So I just came out, and when I moved down here to Orlando, I figured I was 1,800 miles away from anybody that could, care. So I was like, yeah, by the way, guys, whoever doesn't know, now you know. It made it easier that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were accepting of it. My mom was accepting of it, although every chance she got, what about going to any straight clubs? I go to straight clubs every once in a while. Then my dad, on the other hand, there's a big story in their divorce. Needless to say, I thought he would be like, oh. But he was not. He was, don't ever talk about it again. I thought it would be the opposite. I thought my mom would take it, horrible. My dad would be like, oh, okay. Well, how I heard about CBL was obviously my ex, Matt.
No, obviously, not everyone knows that.
Oh, my ex, Matt. He was here, and I heard bits and pieces of it, and I kind of got to the point in my life where I'm ready to... I have nothing tying me down, but I'm ready to get set into something. So, so I filled out the app just before Christmas, and figured I'd give it a shot. So it brought me in. Yeah.
Obviously, you're Matt's ex. On head, Matt. Matt left in a whirlwind storm, basically pointing all fingers at you for making him leave like that, saying that you're the one who he's still in love with, and you said if you leave that house right now, I'll take you back. Is that accurate?
One of the conversations, yeah, but what led up to that was how horrible he was being treated here, how miserable he was, you know, how much he wanted to be back and this and that, and then when I would talk to him and be like, well, why don't you, come back then? Oh, well, no, and I didn't know all these other stories, and that's why I would say, yeah, you want to come back right now, you can come back right now. If not, I'm not going to play this game with you for 6 months.
So,
You gotta make your mind up.
my first question, obviously, you're being told by somebody who's living here, who's your ex, how horrible this is.
Right.
What on earth made you apply?
Because I put two and two together, and I caught on to a lot of the other things that he would tell me that seemed to not be true. And I paid attention to you guys' website. I watched the free cams and listened to the chats and just did my own little observation of it. And,
Realized it wasn't quite as black as he was painting it.
yeah, exactly. It didn't seem so bad. It actually seems like it could kind of be fun. I never went to college, so maybe it could be something fun along those lines. I don't know, and again, what do I have to lose? In 5 days you tell me never to come back again? Okay. What do I have to lose? Well, if I could know that this was where I'd be staying for 6 months, I'd definitely go in for my GED, which I do not have high school diploma or GED yet. And then look into, for probably after the 6 months, college. If I stay here for 6 months, might as well stay here in Tampa. I've never actually really stayed in the same area for that long, so I stayed in Fort Lauderdale, but it was like many different places, like Oakland Park, Sunrise, whatever. Not in the same house that long. So.
Got it. Okay. Now, you were getting ready to come to your app period, and then you get a call from David.
Oh, yes.
Explain that and what happened.
What did happen? I actually think I was a little intoxicated that night. He basically just said that he was, getting kicked out, he had gotten in a fight or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay. And what did he had said to me that, I don't make any money here, you don't need to come here, and this and that, and I was just like, I'm sure he's probably upset, He also told me that you were going to drill me on camera, which kind of made me a little weary of coming out here myself. But, I mean, again, it's all hearsay. That's how I am in life. Like, people can tell me all the junk they want, but until you prove me wrong, it's...
Well, I mean, we're kind of drilling you now. So, and you still came?
Yeah, well, and I guess my biggest fear was that I didn't know how good of friends you and Matt were, or, I don't know, I know he's very vindictive and very angry. So I don't know if you guys were clicking and you would be here, oh, we're going to do this just to, make him feel this big, which I've had a lot of that in my life. And I don't need it anymore. Like, I want to do things and surround myself with people that uplift me and bring me to the right places in my life. I've done enough of the, down in the dirt stuff. Not anymore.
Yeah, awesome. Leave that.
Well, I guess the boys were talking about, because I can tell you honestly, when I first saw David, I was like, oh. That's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, oh. But the other boys that are actually living here...
So hold on, you saw David and it was a what?
I kind of take a
Is
step
that a
back.
bad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
whether
take
that
a
was
step back.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was a step back. I was like, girl.
Okay.
Oh. But no, I think Taylor and Ben, I mean, again, I haven't met them, Nice, sweet, fun. I don't know. I haven't seen anything negative yet.
Yeah. Well, you got to ride in the car with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Vane?
Very cool. I'd like to get to know him. He seems pretty cool. So, and he's just an Apple right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. What did you think to his appearance?
Oh, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's right on. I used to, back in high school, I spent like $550 at Hot Topic one time.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped making them for $6.5, so.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, at least you're skinny, so at least you
yeah, if I wanted to, I could fit back into some things.
Yeah.